The age of unbiased media is officially over. Elon Musk blasts the new NPR CEO for her hatred of the U.S. Constitution after new video emerges of her trashing free speech rights for Americans. Is this what you want your tax dollars to support? We have so much to unpack here on the Gateway Pundits Beyond the Headlines, brought to you by VNN. This segment is sponsored by Field of Greens, helping you to have a better and healthier life, guaranteed, or your money back. My name is Elijah Schaefer. Let's start the show. What is it with our tax dollars being used for just about everything under the sun except actually supporting our values, our conservative and right-wing values? Elon Musk on Tuesday blasted radical NPR CEO Katherine Maher after a video emerged of her trashing the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Shocker there. Now, Maher described her disgust for the First Amendment to the Atlantic Council in a recent interview. Don't take my word for it. Listen to her words for yourself, posted directly by Chris Rufo, a commentator and intellectual. Listen to what she had to say, and it gets so much worse than this, so stay tuned.
The number one challenge here that we see and is, of course, the First Amendment in the United States is a fairly robust protection of rights, and that is a protection of rights both for platforms, which I actually think is very important, that platforms have those rights to be able to regulate what kind of content they want on their sites. But it also means that it is a little bit tricky to really address some of the real challenges of where does bad information come from and sort of the influence peddlers who have made it.
So she says directly here, okay, great. So we're looking to stop bad information. It's really a challenge here to deal with the First Amendment. It's sort of in the way of what we're trying to do. Now, NPR, National Public Radio, this is largely taxpayer funded. They have donations, was once known for being unbiased media. Then an individual inside of NPR who's worked there for, I think it was decades, I could be wrong, but a very long time, said that they've really loved working there, but they've seen it go far left, and they considered themselves liberal. Now, they got suspended for explaining that. Now, this led Indiana Congressman Jim Banks to weigh in on the matter. He directly saw this and said, well, what are we doing? Explaining away our money to something like this. He tweeted out directly on X, Congress shouldn't be paying pro-censorship leftist activists. I will be introducing legislation to defund NPR. Now, this picked up over 331,000 views. And if you go down here, Elon Musk, officially, this is his real profile, weighed in and said, great. Shia Rashik of Libs of TikTok, a popular account that fights radical leftists, came in and said, 2 clapping hands. And there were many other positive reports. Now, this support came after the fact that people are sick and tired of our institutions being co-opted by people who despise our values. We're not talking about a basic disagreement here on whether you're progressive or conservative. We're talking about whether you hate the founding documents of our nation. What the hell are you doing trying to run a public radio service when you don't even respect the fundamental God-given rights of the damn public? And don't mind my cursing here. If you're offended by that, then okay, I apologize. But at the same time, I'm more offended by the fact that these people get the power to use our money to work against us. Now, NPR's new CEO said directly this. She said, our reverence for the truth might be a distraction, getting in the way of finding common ground and getting things done. This gets to the heart of the cultural divide in the modern West. This is whether you believe truth is a priority or a hindrance. And this is the reality that we're facing. Vivek Ramaswamy posted this clip of her talking recently, putting into question who really is in charge of our country. Listen.
The hard things, the places where we are prone to disagreement, say politics and religion. Well, as it turns out, not only does Wikipedia's model work there, it actually works really well. Because in our normal lives, these contentious conversations tend to erupt over disagreement about what the truth actually is. But the people who write these articles, they're not focused on the truth. They're focused on something else, which is the best of what we can know right now. And after 7 years of working with these brilliant folks, I've come to believe that they are onto something, that perhaps for our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth might not be the right place to start. In fact, our reverence for the truth might be a distraction that's getting in the way of finding common ground and getting things done. Now, that is not to say that the truth doesn't exist, nor is it to say that the truth isn't important. Clearly, the search for the truth has led us to do great things, to learn great things. But I think if I were to really ask you to think about this, one of the things that we could all acknowledge is that part of the reason we have such glorious chronicles to the human experience in all forms of culture is because we acknowledge there are many different truths. And so in the spirit of that, I'm certain that the truth exists for you and probably for the person sitting next to you. But this may not be the same truth. This is because the truth of the matter is very often, for many people, what happens when we merge facts about the world with our beliefs about the world. So we all have different truths. They're based on things like where we come from, how we were raised, and how other people perceive us.
Okay. Did she just say what I think she said? Directly stating that it doesn't really matter about the truth. You know, the crazy part is people like this have been in control and power for a long time. Now, this is not the worst of what she said. She actually was on the Berkeley Forum talking about the need to rule out bad information, put in good information, essentially not wrong information, but information that's bad, information you don't want. We're going to watch that clip. But it gave me flashbacks to 2020 and 2021 when we were told when it came to COVID, to the shots, right? We weren't allowed to question those. We got our channels deleted. We got demonetized. We got deleted off of Twitter, the Gateway Pundit, for questioning the reality. And now the American Cancer Society says directly what? There's going to be over 2 million cases of cancer, and it's going to be skyrocketing because of what happened. I don't know. Maybe because we're not allowed to question the truth. Now, thankfully for us, while we can't control tech companies, the American Cancer Society says, well, cancer's on the rise. What's the best thing that I can do to prevent it? Well, they say that you can change your diet. You can literally change what you eat, radically change it. Now, it's not easy to change your diet entirely. I don't always eat well. My mother died from cancer a few years ago, so I don't want to get it. It's terrible. You don't want to go through it. Many of you have suffered with it. One of the easiest ways you can change your diet today, though, to start getting a healthier and better life is this product I've been using called Field of Greens. Now, Field of Greens is the amazing doctor-selected supplement that promises to give you better health. I'm not claiming it's going to prevent or treat cancer. What I'm saying is this. We deserve it to our families. We owe it to our wives, to our husbands, to our children, to be better people and to take care of our bodies. And I know it's hard to change bad habits, but you can make one good habit today by going to brickhousevnn.com, BRICKHOUSE, VNN.com, and using my promo code VNN to get yourself Field of Greens. You can take the supplement. It's delicious, nutritious. It'll help be putting you on track to a better health and help you to prevent long-term disease. Guys, you've got to check it out today and get 15% off today. Free rush shipping so you can get it, start your new health journey as soon as possible at brickhousevnn.com. Links in the description. Use my promo code VNN for free rush shipping plus 15% off. And you know, when I'm talking about this, I want you to have better health because people are trying to lie to you about what's going on, including this new CEO of NPR. Now, she was on another show. It's shocking. Another show. And lied and said, hey, well, we got to, make sure that we're providing people with good information, not true information, but the ones that we think they should know. Sound familiar?
So I think much of what we talk about with misinformation is really about how do we stamp out bad information. And I'm really interested in how do we actually immerse ourselves in good information and what are the ways in which our systems and policies and structures can focus on how they have an obligation to each of us as citizens to be able to sit within that good information and what that good information can do as a sort of like fertilizer, nutrients for all of us to be able to be as successful as possible, both individually and as a collective.
So notice she says not what's true and false, what's good and bad. And that's what our enemies think. That's who controls our institutions. They've decided whether the clot shots, the COVID vaccine, whatever you want to call them, not whether they hurt you or helped you, whether it was good or bad for their agenda. And that's who's running NPR. And if you think about it, a lot of people like this woman, they're running our institutions, our colleges, our government. They're sick people. They're perverted. They're twisted. And they don't care about your health. My name is Elijah Schaefer. Don't forget to leave a comment down below and share these videos as we continually get censored and continue to fight against the censorship regime. Let us know your thoughts on what you think about NPR being run by this person. Are you going to listen to them anymore? Will you demand that things change? Is it about time that we stand up for our rights? We'd love your feedback. Shout out to the Gateway Pundit for these amazing stories, providing the news every day. And don't forget to check out Field of Greens at brickhousevnn.com, promo code VNN for 15% off plus free rush shipping, your first decision towards better health and a better life. Have a great rest of the week, and may God bless the United States of America. I'm signing out.